Hello. Welcome back to the land of the living.
Oh God! When you rang me,
Well, I texted you and I was like, you know what? What's stopping me from calling her? Just call her.
the funny thing is, like, I've fallen asleep after work, but I must have fallen asleep in a funny position on my couch because as you called me, I tried to get up. My leg was dead. My right leg was dead, which is why you probably the noise you probably heard was like I
It
dropped
sounded
you
like
on
you
the
were
floor.
falling off the cliff a little bit.
I fell on the floor and I dropped you on the floor.
You dropped me on the floor. Well, forget about me.
Oh, my right leg was just totally dead. I must have fallen asleep in a really weird position. But
Oh,
we're here now. We're here. We're here. We're here.
Marina,
Oh,
I finished the book about an hour ago.
I finished at work today. Dufty McTavish, hello.
Duffy came in late for him too.
Well, disappointed in you. We were here on time, us.
No, he finished it before me. I'm proud of you.
Proud Dufty.
I'm proud of you. I'm not gonna lie. I think all three of the books have kind of into my brain a little bit. So I'm not sure if I can separate it out all that well.
It's all right. It's all right. We've got the good thing, but also not the bad thing. But the good thing is like the many vlogs that I've tried to start, I have mentioned that the good thing about these books is it's not really intricate timelines, many million different characters, and like really complex world building, like the Ruin of Kings and like some other like
And the Legacy
James.
series.
Yeah,
I always find
so,
ways to bring up the Legacy series in these guys.
so it's not as complex as that. So the last three books I read books 3 and 4 when I was around about the time I was supposed to. But because I've been in a life slump, I went back and reread them, and I went back and I started the reread on Friday and I finished them today. So the good thing about it is that I was able to get through all three of them really quick.
I don't know how you did that. Gotta be honest. I even went away. Like I was on holiday with nothing to do but read, and I still only managed to finish one book. And I'm happy that I finished one book, but I spent a lot of time watching Jack play with all the cats and background in the pool, and then I kept having naps. It's great.
Well, it was your birthday week, so like
That's also true. But I don't think they'll let me have that week off ever again because it was very busy at work.
like sorry, I can't change the date of my birth.
Yeah. Well, I booked a holiday like 6 months ago, I want to say, and we're always busy the week before my birthday. That's just standard. And I was like, oh, it's the week after, so it's fine, right? And they went, yeah, it's fine. And then they started getting more jobs in the week after my birthday, the week off my birthday, and I was like, I can't go. I'm on holiday.
Oh damn.
So we had to dust off the designer and send him off. Bless him. Like, sorry, Cassie's busy.
Oh God. But I do kind of remember the where we left off on book 2. So as always, anyone who's watching this back, we do talk spoilers, which we're going to be doing anyway because we're doing the last 3 books. But also, we don't talk in a linear fashion. Very late it took.
Ratings. Do I remember my ratings? I don't think so.
So very late it took a big push, but you're here, Tough Day. You're here, and we're thankful for that.
Proud of you.
Only by a few hours this time.
Before me. Well, that's hard, but
currently reading a science fiction book where the narrator advises the reader not to wrestle with the table and make economic numbers within it. Wow.
way out.
Could never be me.
No, could never be me. Could never be me. Right, I read
I'll
those.
go, I'll go first because I have literally just finished all 3 books in the last few days. So book 3 for me and book 4 were 4 and 4.5 respectively. But I did give book 5 a 5
Okay.
because it ended on a I don't want to say happy because Rob can clearly not do. It's kind of like a J. Kristoff ending, isn't it? It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
But it's more bitter than sweet, I think, in this respect.
Yeah, I would agree so.
It's like it's the kind of series that makes me question. If it was just this one series, it would be like, fairs, like trauma. But because this is like the second full series we've read by him, I'm kind of questioning if Rob's okay.
Yeah.
Like, who did what to you as a child? Like, do we need to beat them up? Like,
We must protect Rob at all costs.
do we need to send help?
Yeah.
Just knock 3 times. Like,
Yeah.
send us a signal.
He did say that, didn't he? Not the send him a signal thing. When we spoke to him ages ago, he said he was talking about having Esker living in his head and how it was a bit of a rough time.
Yeah.
And I get
I just kind of think like that all this came from his brain, and I'm just like, I mean, you have to go to some dark places to think of some of the shit that happened. So I'm just like, do we need to check on him?
No, he's written other books since then. He's fine.
Do we need to do a welfare check?
Maybe. I gave them 4 across the board.
Okay. So a really good series, really good rating compared to what we've done at some like didn't really enjoy previous.
Yeah,
series, so.
I really enjoy Rob's writing. I think he's a fantastic writer for how he writes and how he puts together these stories. I did enjoy the fact that this one, out of the other series that we've read throughout doing this, I actually strangely enjoyed the singular POV and like it is essentially one timeline with Esker coming backwards and forwards a little bit, dipping in and out, giving a bit of, oh well, I didn't know this yet, and oh, I suppose that's
you can never trust. You always know that as soon as you see as soon as there's a mention of a possibility of some happiness, that there'll be some kind of comment like, "Oh, but I didn't know what was coming," or something like that. There was always that, and you're like, "Oh shit." She's just feeling some kind of happiness, some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. Like, you know, she finds these 2 kids that have been experimented on, like she was and Yosef, and you're like, oh my god, like she's lost Kento. Like her eldest was like taken from her, and we were all she tried to get her back, didn't she? So I think that they would take her from because like they refused to go back. And like she was going through all that, and then she sort of like took these 2 kids in, and there were siblings for what's her name? Cerylith. Yes, yeah. And you're like, oh, that's so cute. And then I knew that it wouldn't last long, but it was just kind of nice that you're like, oh yeah, she's, you know, she's been through some shit, but she was a shit mother though, wasn't she? To be fair.
Yeah, but she was a really. I know people say that you don't necessarily have to be built to be a mum, and I do agree with that to some extent, but she really was not built to be a mother. Like she says throughout the books, she was taken off of her parents at 6. She doesn't remember them.
No.
And she was then experimented on and put into this really harsh school where they're just vomiting up stones. I will say the magic system in this is one that I have never read from before. I found it interesting that you can be attuned to all of these different things or only a few different things. But
Yeah.
in order to actually access this power, you have to swallow a source stone that can range in size of like being, I don't know, pea size to being watermelon size, and then have
Mm,
to throw it back up in order to not die. Which
That that in and of itself, I'm just like, how do you think of that this whole time?
mm,
I'm reading the story and I'm just like, I'm feeling the trauma and the frustration of
mm,
some of the mistakes that she makes, and you think like Eska is, you can't, as much as you want to be like, oh my god, Eska, just stop and think about it. Like, she really has had no sort of parental
mm,
guidance and role model in her life. Even
yeah,
Hart, like, bless him, he was only, but he's still only essentially like a few years older than he. He's not like a
yeah.
father figure, is he? He was more like a brother. So
No, I think
she's,
throughout the other books as well, I don't know if you felt the same. Like when she would talk about him and how close they were, I was part of me was like, are they going to end up together?
yeah,
And
I was really hoping they wouldn't.
and then it ends up that although obviously she's slept with
Ison.
Ison, had Kento, and then I can't remember who the father of Sidara is. Cyrillith.
Sarah Lith. I can't all these fucking names. Yeah, Sarah Lith. It was a traveling.
That was it.
Yeah, yeah, it was a
Yeah.
traveling. She didn't even really know his name. It was
No,
a one night stand, wasn't it?
that's why I don't remember who he is.
Yeah.
And then realizes actually I like women, which fair enough. But I was just like, when she was telling us about how she's like, obviously ice and then this traveler and stuff, I was like, oh, is that going to be the end thing? Like they finally realized. But I did quite like how Rob kept that relationship
Yeah.
at arm's length.
Yeah, the same with Yosef. I thought it was gonna kind of be like
We
the
went,
reason they were always drawn back together, the reason why she couldn't really totally let him go, and like um they always felt like they still missed each other even though they betrayed each other so fucking much.
yeah,
I thought that was gonna be like, actually they were sort of soulmates, and in essentially they were, but the way that it is like they were
the
two they were
opposite of each other.
yeah, they were yin and Rand, weren't they? They weren't bonded in like a romantic way. It was sort of like a two sides of the same coin, sort of,
Yeah,
you
he was
know,
light and she was
the
deaf.
yeah, it was that sort of pull, and the whole way that was introduced as well.
Mm,
Like, I didn't even see that coming. So like, you think back and you think, actually, there wasn't a whole like load of hints,
mm,
but there was this constant undertone of like, they always missed each other even though they wanted to hate each other. There was always this sort of like feeling like they were never really whole when they were apart.
mm,
And even near the end, like, she knew that he was turning into something really fucking like a prophesized, you
yeah,
know. And when she found out what he'd done to her, like, she was still sort of like, yeah, but it's Joseph.
yeah,
Like, it was a strange relationship. She didn't have any healthy relationships, did she?
no.
Read some of Tusty's comments. Just edged off half a star in the penultimate for me. I forget why for exactly, but now the drama of the ending. Yes, the drama of that ending. I was like, I was like, I should be working right now, but Jesus Christ, this battle.
I will
um,
say Rob writes a very good battle scene. I don't feel as though out of the books I've read so far there have been any battle scenes to similar extent. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think
no, he
I
doesn't
know.
overuse battle scenes, but he when he knows it. I think in high fantasy and like those kinds of books,
Mm,
when there's not really sort of like a romantic subplot, like a romantic plot, they
yeah,
can overuse battles, and they can
yeah,
use that as a way of like spicing things up.
mm,
But it seems like the way that he writes is, there were lots of like bits of tension. It was more like political conversations, weren't there?
yeah,
There was like intense political battles, you could call them,
yeah,
where they were like negotiating things, and it was that kind of thing. But the actual fights, Like, that
Yeah.
was, like, a massive build-up, wasn't it? Like, you knew it was coming. It had to end
Yeah.
with that battle, but the way that it was written, like,
Mm.
even then, it was so good. It
Yeah,
was
it
so
was.
good.
It is a very good way of just, I don't know, getting his point across, which I quite enjoy.
Yeah.
That battle though did go on. Not in a bad way, but I'm glad it stretched out the length it did, and it was in I don't know what words I'm trying to find.
It was trauma. It was
Mm. Like
it
that,
was
I
more
know we're
trauma than I
skipping through
needed.
books, but how during these battle scenes there comes a point where Esker is like, "Well, everyone's dead. Everyone that I care about is dead." She's convinced her daughters are dead. Her son has just been taken from her.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was ass for like most of the book. I was like, I don't really like you, and I think that's the point. Like his character, she even says it when she talks about him dying afterwards.
Yeah.
Like he pushed everyone away. He was just
He
not
was an arse, yeah.
necessarily a likable person. But then I don't think he saw himself as that, because when he was talking about how he was trying to get the people to lead him, he was like, I've been charismatic, I've been charming, I've been this, I've been that, but they don't follow me. And Eska turns around and she's like, but they don't follow me because they like me. They follow me because they fear me. What I did was wrong. Like, what I did was right. How I went about it was wrong. The way I
Yeah.
caused all the carnage was wrong. And they revere me because of what I did.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they like me. And he
Yeah.
couldn't understand that. I think he saw himself as like a really likable person, because
Yeah.
he seems to have that thought of like, well, I'm really charismatic and I'm really charming and I'm smiley and I'm this and that,
Yeah.
but doesn't realize how much of a ass he actually is.
Yeah. I think it was more distant with his family, obviously, because of everything that went on.
Mm,
But you could definitely see that he probably tried too hard to be one type of person.
yeah.
And he just didn't know, especially when Vi died. Like
Mm,
after his well, they're not blood related, but after his sister died,
no, but yeah, they got
he
adopted at the same time.
totally, because he was like the leader of the group where he'd take them on hunts down these, like, and he'd be like leading these adventures, and you could
Yeah.
tell that he wanted to be the leader. He wanted to
Mm,
be
in
the
charge.
person that people looked up to, even as a kid.
Mm,
But the trauma of what happened with his sister and with that kid, that obviously he would have blamed himself when he led them on
yeah,
this adventure into these like catacomb things, and
and they
then they collapsed and his friend died.
mm,
You know, again, even at a young age, like the kids went through trauma even before. Obviously,
mhm,
it was easy to forget that at times that they weren't actually her kids, so they would have been through trauma and
yeah,
torture before they met Esker. They
mhm,
then found some semblance of not really, I won't say like a happy, loving home, because again, she wasn't a great mother. She
yeah,
wasn't paternal at all, really, was she? But
no,
they found like love in their siblings and within
yeah,
each other. And then, their friend dies, and then he sees his sister killed in front of him, and it's kind of like,
yeah,
and then the way that Esker sort of deals with everything, um,
and then she disappeared.
yeah. And then Cyrilith finding out that, oh my god, we can go to that in a minute, but um, yeah, it was fabulous to read the book about a child, a mother going a 70-year-old grandmother, and back in the body with a 40-year-old woman in the family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was like when we got to that point and Yosef is like, "Do you trust me?" And Esker's like, "Yeah." And then he uses his biomancy to try and cure almost what her chronomancy did.
yeah, that was. I
Pretty
kind of
incredible.
saw that coming, but even though I, it was still like,
Mm.
yeah, I was surprised it actually worked.
Yeah,
And there wasn't any repercussions from that. Um, but he was just, he did, the biomancer did something to him, didn't it? It just sent him absolutely,
he was just a bit wackadoodle after
yeah,
everything, honestly, really. And I get
yeah,
that, but it's like as Esko kept describing him, she was like, one day he's fire, one day he's ice, one day he's this. Hello, Cookie, how are you today?
Oh, he wants to join in on the conversation about Rob. Do you want to talk about Rob? Oh,
Here's my cat, but everyone get it.
oh my god.
What are
Carry
you
on.
doing?
He's gone now.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, Yosef is just a bit broken, and
Yeah.
when, again, jumping all over the place, but when Esker comes back and finds that Yosef has set up a temple
Yeah.
and he's being worshipped like some, cult leader,
Yeah.
it was just, and she's like, have I got my friend back? And
No.
kind of, in a way, like, he was more lucid than he was, I want to say, in book 4.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it in
it
book
was, but it was a different type of madness, wasn't it? It was sort
3?
of, but rather than flitting between these different states of being, like he'd got
Mm.
control of his biomancy, but it's still the impact that it had on his brain. The only way that he could really sort of function was like it made himself immortal, but
Yeah.
that's still not normal. So like the way that he was acting was still a
Bonkers.
tad crazy.
Mm. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a smidge.
But that was quite.
Oh.
I don't know. I think pretty much all the characters that we meet in this series. I feel as though obviously there's a lot of bad things that happen, and people don't make it. But I do feel as though the end of this series had a lot more people in it left than I thought may have made it.
Yeah, yeah. The
You
way that
know,
it was going, I literally thought that this was going to be her sat on a throne somewhere all alone with like no survivors.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, literally, she had caused that much shit in her life that
Yeah.
literally everybody was gone. So
Yeah.
I think that's the sweet part of it, but the bitter part of it is that so many people didn't survive.
And they're all
Which
exiled.
we could come to that in a sec. I adored the style of I wish I had known that beforehand. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, Rob loved to use that in this series, but I think for
Yeah.
me, like some people might get tired of it, but I kind of I don't know. I think, like I said, that's the bit that sort of like kept you wanting to know more because
Yeah.
even when you think you know what kind of person Esker is and what decisions she's gonna make and how you think right, okay, so this is how Esker works.
Mm.
You kind of realize that nobody knows. Esker probably didn't even know fully how she works. So
Yeah.
like, nothing's really 100% predictable.
Yeah.
So this whole like, I wish I'd known that before, and you're like, oh shit. So what happens now? Like, you never know whether it's gonna be a case of somebody dies or
Mm.
like somebody else. Do you know what I mean? Like something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was definitely.
This is from
Well,
Cold Ashes Risen. He's muddled the R and the A. He said it in another comment.
many pithy observations on life today. Men in Northern Italy pleased with growing hair on their faces. People cheering on the suffering of others and often as a way to forget their own. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is Rob okay?
Every player takes over 20 different screens. Yeah,
Oh.
that whole thing, like it doesn't again, the way that Rob writes is like again, it might just be because I have a vivid imagination anyway.
Mm.
He doesn't go into massive detail for these torture scenes,
Mm.
but the way that it's described and the way that it yeah, I can see it in my head the way that it happened, and
Yeah.
he doesn't describe the actual torture itself, but I think because he describes very much how Esker feels during these sight
Mm.
scenes and afterwards, and she's always in so much fucking pain. I don't think there's a moment of her life where she's gone through where she wasn't in some kind of pain, whether it was the aches and
Yeah.
pains of the chronomancy that's aged her early, or
Mm.
aches and pains of some kind of torture that's been done to her.
Yeah.
Like because you feel the weight of everything that happens to her,
Yeah.
and you feel how tired that she would be.
Mm.
And I love the way that, like, despite some of the positive things that happen, like the fact that the void like the image of the void and jumping into the void like
Mm.
was put in her head when she was younger. I
Mm.
kind of like the fact that no matter what happened, like things don't just magically fix themselves, that they don't magically disappear. Like the mental health issues that she had, like the trauma, it doesn't magically go away. Nothing's
Mm.
ever, even the chronomancer, like it sort of it reversed the effects of it.
Mm.
But it did say that it wasn't magically fixed because it was like, well, if you don't control it,
Yeah.
you will start to age again. So she still had to do work herself to bring it under control, and it was she had to sort of she never wanted to be immortal, and she
Yeah.
was in order for her to like fully stop the chronomancy from like affecting her body 100%, she'd have to become immortal. So
Mm.
again, it was just kind of like there was always these decisions that she had to make
Yeah.
about what you know. So I really liked that, and like even till the very end, after everything had happened, like and as she got older, the call of the void was still there. She still had to wrangle with the anxiety and the depression and
Mm.
like the depictions of the panic attacks and stuff that she was going through and the periods of melancholy that would just creep up on her. She didn't know how to get out of it, and the way that panic attacks were described. As a
Mm.
person who suffers from panic attacks, I was like, this is far too real. Like the
Yeah.
whole like feeling like you can't breathe and like nothing can pull you out of it. Like
Yeah.
that whole thing was so well done. Like it wasn't overly dramatized, and it was just it was kind of like I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
understand, and I really liked as well in this last book some of the revelations that she went through with that character who was mean to her, who is now made of fire.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
And there is a point that is spoken about in previous books about them being in the library and Eska believing that this woman made her feel as if she wanted to hurt herself, basically, and end it all. And there's a revelation in this book where she realizes actually the only other person in there was Yosef, because this woman turns around and she goes, Lesere, thank you, Tufty.
Yeah.
Because Leslie turns around and she goes, "It couldn't have been me. I am not. I was never strong enough at that particular
Yeah.
magic. I got told off all the time because I was absolutely abysmal at it." And Eska rethinks and she goes, "Oh, Yosef was there, and he was the one
All
that
that
pulled her
time.
off
Yeah.
the edge, and then uses that impermanency, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
to convince her that he loves her." And it's not the first. It probably. I don't. It's not the last time that impermanency gets used on Eska. Like, there's another point in these books
Oh,
where
so
she basically gets made to fall in love with this ambassador because he wants to
yeah.
become head of the merchants, and he does end up becoming head of the merchants. But it's
Having no control over her own feeling, like
yeah,
every part of her is violated in some way.
yeah,
Like she's physically abused. Like people take like her mind. People
yeah,
forcing her to think a certain way. Like it's it's horrible, and I can understand why she got like so aggressive and so
mm,
angry about it. And the fact that this guy was like he was all right. It's like,
yeah.
oh well, you just all they did was just make you more pliable. And Imiko said that you just needed a bit of a push. And all right, we'll come to Imiko. I'm come to Imiko in a bit, but yeah, it was.
You need to
uh,
follow these threads when you've got them because we'll forget.
I didn't know how does one even look at. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't even want to think about different screams. I was the, I was sat there thinking, so many different types of screams. What do you mean?
Like,
Uh,
and
I I loved
ah.
how they were. new revelations about the magic in each book. We kept learning what was possible.
Mm.
Exactly. Like we thought, oh, these sorcerers, like it was so much was explained in book one. You're like, okay, yeah, we get the gist of the magic. It was actually, no, that's not all these sorcerers can do. These sorcerers are actually dead yin. Like, that bit grossed me out. Every time they ate a sauce after that, I was like, oh my god, that's a dead person. That's a dead thing.
Literally just a rock.
Yeah. I was like, no, it's a rock. It's just a rock. It's not. Nothing was living.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the bitch. Yeah.
I felt for her as well. To be fair, she was also experimented on, and
Yeah,
in the way that she is made she's made up of fire. Like,
yeah, and the way that she was like every second of every day she has to hold that fire back. She's always in pain. Like she always feels like she's on fire.
Yeah.
Because of what was done to her.
Mm.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Through Esker's, because we see everything from Esker's point of view, we do feel the hatred for everyone that Esker dislikes, because it's everything that's in her brain. We're like, oh well, I don't like her either. And because until the very end, we're like, okay, so not only did she try and kill you, she also tried to make you end your own life. Like that was horrible. And then this whole time we're thinking, Yosef is this brotherly sort of like platonic soulmate that sort of, despite everything, and even because she tries to justify things that he does, I feel like I was justifying. It's like, yeah, he betrayed her, but if he didn't betray her and they didn't get sent to the pit, like she would have just been killed. So like, essentially he did betray her, but he did it to save her life, and they were together in the pit, so that's okay. And like he, maybe he did turn on her in the pit and go to the side, but he wanted her to go with him, and you constantly justifying why he's doing this. But then when you realize actually
he's just an ass,
he was a strong impermancer, you kind of think all these feelings of like kinship she felt for Yosef, like was actually any of it real? Was it him just playing her and playing on her emotions this whole time without her realizing it? Like, was any of her feelings for him real? We still don't know by the end of the book. Like, because with impermanency, like once the feelings are implanted in you,
they never
they're
go.
there, aren't they? They never go. Even though she knows, like the impermanencer made her have feelings for this merchant creep. She can't stop it the way that it makes her feel. She
just
can
get her
try
own
it.
back though, because by the end of the book,
I love
the
that.
merchant's wife is going to the underworld or otherworld, as they kept saying,
The
basically
underworld.
hooking up with her. I was just like, wow.
I don't condone cheating, but Jesus Christ, the shit that she was put through, I'm just like, fucking get it, yeah.
She was
Get
like,
your own back on the
I
prick.
reckon he knows, and I hope it tears him up inside that she
Yeah.
prefers me over him.
It's like, well, this is what you get when you try to like you mess with my emotions.
Yeah, sort of.
Was not expecting that either. I wonder if it'll make a really very different experience when all the future references in the books will make sense at the time.
I think it will. Well, I mean,
I
you've
think
read some of them, so you probably know.
I think I don't know. I try not. Obviously, you know what's coming when you reread it, but it's still sort of. I think it is the kind of thing where you can, upon reread, the little hints that they drop earlier on. You kind of, it does make you question. You're like, actually, but you can see that he said that he's not really a planner, didn't he?
Yeah.
But the way that it reads, it feels like he has planned all this out. So I get that. I don't. It's great.
I
It's
don't know.
strange.
Maybe he had like an end point in mind, and
Yeah.
then kind of
Pants his way
funneled
through
it
it.
towards that. I don't know. I'm not a writer. I don't claim to know anything about how to write. I don't really even know how to read, if I'm completely honest. So
I didn't think they'd win the final battle. I didn't know how they could keep going. Same.
Yeah, I
At
think
one
that's
point,
literally why at the point when Esker is like, I'm doing this because everyone I care about is gone. My son is dead, my daughters are dead,
yeah,
everyone is gone. And I think if she never had that thought, that push, then it would never have ended. And I think that's what she needed. And then obviously
yeah,
after the battle, her daughters are actually alive, and that's great. But I feel as though that was kind of the point, was to put her into this absolutely impossible place,
yeah,
because if Rob didn't put her in that impossible place, there is no way that she would have swallowed the thing and encased it, essentially. And I love how her
yeah.
thoughts literally reminded her of having her horror in a bottle, like someone jarred him. And I was like, ah, why don't you just pickle it? That makes sense. No,
Oh
yeah, I think without that push, that would never have happened.
no,
Then that then pushes her to accept the fact that she does need to be immortal, because when she dies, that creature is then going to be let back out into the world. So
yeah,
I feel as though if that series of events hadn't happened, this book wouldn't have left on the cliffhanger it did. It's not really a cliffhanger, but you know what I mean.
yeah,
Open ended the way it did, because it would have literally been, she sacrificed herself and she died, or
yeah.
he just died, you know, and everyone else carried on and also died. So I
At
don't think.
one point, I thought that maybe this was Esker reliving what she went through, and she actually did fully die, and like this was a ghost talking
Yeah.
through her life, because
Mm,
it got to that point where everybody was dying, everyone was dead. We
yeah.
thought that she was just going to sacrifice herself, and I was like, well, when I was reading it, I was like, well, if she does die and that is the ending,
Mm.
then she must just be like, this must be just her in a ghost form, recalling her life. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause
Yeah,
obviously
but I
everything
also,
is from her point of view.
yeah, another thing I do like about Rob is that I don't think that would ever have been an option. That
Yeah.
almost like, I don't know, grim, ghosty thing. Like I don't think he would have made that choice, because that's not as impactful as her being exiled into the other
Yeah.
world and harboring the essence of a creature that could destroy her world.
Yeah. There's always that, like,
I
if
don't think she's allowed to die. Like, I feel as I
yeah,
get that impression almost, that
yeah,
no matter what she goes through, even if everyone else around her died, she would always live, because it's kind
yeah,
of the burden that she's forced to take on because of probably everything else that she's ever done in her life.
yeah. Her and Saracus, like, having to be
Mm,
together and, like, join together, they have to constantly work at keeping her in this little tiny
yeah,
encasement inside her. Like, it's not like, oh well, she's there now, it's done, and that's done and dusted. She's gone. There's
yeah,
still the fact that there was mentioned that they have to work at it all the time. They
mm,
constantly have to work at keeping her at bay. Um, and like I said, she literally can't be killed, because if
yeah,
anyone tries to kill her, um, yeah, she'll be let out again, and
yeah,
it'll be the third cataclysm this time. Like
yeah.
and the world will probably end because, you know, no,
Well, she got
Kento and Sarah Lith will not want to get involved again. They'll be like, fuck
well.
it.
Kento still won't admit that Eska's her mum. I understand why, but
I'm glad. See, as much as I know that hurt Esker, like, I'm glad that that's how that worked out.
mm,
Like, because that seems more like a. I know this is not real life, and if it was, I would not want to be in that world. But
yeah, no,
it's more realistic that, given everything that Esker's done,
yeah,
and everything, and the fact that Kenta was turned into an aspect, so then technically she's no longer her mother because of what she was turned into. It makes sense,
yeah,
and the fact that, you know,
mm,
there was an acceptance, and there was sort of like a camaraderie there because they'd been through shit together.
yeah,
And you can see that Kento warmed to her as a person,
Mhm.
as like somebody, a fellow. Can you even call her a human anymore? A Terran. That
She's an
was
aspect, isn't she?
no
Into
Eska.
or Esther? Oh,
Yeah.
dead. I don't really know.
A fellow person, a fellow being that wanted to fight against the bad people,
Mm.
that because they wanted to work together, and you could tell that there was that. But I'm glad that it didn't go like in the way this whole like, oh, I forgive you, and
Yeah.
let's be, I am your daughter sort of thing. Like it
Luke, I
makes
am your
sense.
father.
I am your father.
I
I
am your
am your mother. I get a lot of yeah. I don't know. He's been doing that a lot recently. When I've been working,
mostly involved.
he's just been climbing on top of my laptop, and like he'll go for my mouse that goes across my screen. He'll just start patting on the frigging screen
It's gonna help.
in the middle of work, and I'm just like, I posted a video the other day on TikTok. Like at one point, I couldn't even touch my mouse because he was just like, no, no, no. Every time I went to pick up my
Stop
mouse.
working. Come and play with me, please. Basically, what that is.
Yeah. Characters have their unique identity from their sayings and mannerisms. I wasn't expecting Ishtar to survive in the terrible
Terrible
children.
student.
She was not a main character, but she was a main character in my heart. Like Ishtar
Terrible
was just
student. I
I
train, but I can
was
still I cannot fight, but I can still train.
terrible student. You thought I would die?
Yeah.
Oh, terrible student. I
Yeah.
will say, like, Moira Quirk for this book,
Ace. Lovely
absolutely
ace.
perfect. The
Mm.
accents, the way that, like, the way that she did the voices and the personalities of, like, she embodied the personalities of,
Mhm.
exactly, it's exactly as I would envision it in my head. But every time, like, she came on,
Terrible student.
yeah, never Eska or Escara. Like, I think she used the name once, didn't she? Like, when she was getting really
Yeah.
serious. But other than that, it was just terrible student, terrible student.
Yeah.
She was like one of the best characters for me. I've got such a special place in my heart for Ishtar. She was ace.
She's a good character.
Oh, and it was easy to forget that she wasn't actually human because it
Yeah.
doesn't mention it a lot. Like when you're
No.
introduced to her, and then all of a sudden it was like, I did like she was briefly mentioned in description. Like, oh yeah, shit. She's not she's not. She's like, oh she a furry arm or whatever. I was like, oh shit, yeah, yeah. She's not human, is she?
Yeah. I liked when
Oh,
they
Terra.
meet her again in this final book, and she's being a bodyguard, and she's like, I
Yeah.
cannot fight. And then he goes, "Come, Ishtar, we must go." And she goes, "See, like a good dog, I follow my master."
Yeah, woof.
Woof, woof.
I actually laughed. I actually laughed at that bit.
Woof, woof.
I really wish, like, sometimes I really wish that like this could be a series or a film. I would get the perfect person to beat Ishtar, and like she walk up going, woof, woof, woof.
Yeah, dragging her leg a little bit because she's got a bit of a limp. Sorry, I thought something. That just made me jump.
Oh, yeah, the constant reminder that Eska fucked up is that Ishtar's got like a permanent limp, like permanently
Yeah.
default.
She's like, "It's my fault," and she's like, "No, it is not. I chose to be there." And Jessica's like, "'Cause I paid you." She's like, "I chose to take your money."
Yeah. No, I choose to follow this entire little shit. Like,
I choose
yeah,
to
woof,
follow
woof,
this guy.
woof.
Woof woof. Here come master. Yeah.
Oh, I think. Oh, I could. There was a compilation of Ishtar, like in a little. It's one of the compilation that I would listen to that. I was like, oh, terrible student. I
Yeah.
was you're like, you're crazy. But I
It,
don't know where the accent came from or why she thought of that accent in that. But oh my god,
it sounds
perfect.
almost like Eastern European
Yeah,
esque to
yeah,
me in that sense. But yeah,
yeah. It just,
it's like an amalgamation of quite a few places.
yeah,
But like it's got like the rolling R's of like Spain in a really weird way, but it still has that like Eastern
Yeah,
like I
loot
imagine this person, like if this person was like in this world, they would Ishtar makes me think of those really severe ballet teachers that are like
yeah,
really light and like hair
yeah,
really high bun,
yes,
basically a stick. Terrible students.
yeah, yeah, terrible, yeah, definitely
Yeah,
like a ballet
that
teacher,
kind
like,
of
yeah,
vibe.
one of those really strong disciplines where they'd be like,
Yeah,
"Oh, yeah, definitely,
yeah. Like her
100%."
posture is like very up here.
Yeah,
Stick.
yeah, and even
Yeah.
though she's got a totally mangled leg, she still walks like,
Like she's been
yeah,
performing ballet since she was 1.
yeah, so she
That's
can still walk with, like, her head held high,
yeah.
and, oh, yeah.
Put a pile of books on her head and she'd still be able to walk.
And what it was just so heartwarming, like, the way that when Eska heard a voice, she was
Mm.
just, like, filled with, like, happiness. She was like, "Why are you doing?" Like,
Even yeah.
and at the end when 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 Ishtar just decided that she was gonna be, living
Mm.
in the other world as well, and, like, she was her bodyguard, like,
Yeah.
yeah, she just decided that she was there. I was like, "Alright, okay."
Why not?
Just exile herself.
Doesn't sound like a bad place to be, to be honest. Everyone leaves you alone.
Yeah, fair, yeah. And like I said, with all the rifts opening and stuff,
Mm.
and the scars being there, it was like a way for people to travel from one place to another. So she had like the monopoly on like the travel between different realms and stuff, didn't she?
Mm.
So, yeah.
That was when I forgot her name.
The revelation about Joseph was jaw dropping, yeah. That was built up for 5 whole books, mentioned repeatedly, reinforced, we believed it, and then the rug pull. Yeah, exactly. We're like, oh god, like it is still poor Joseph, to be fair, because he also had a shitty upbringing. Like he didn't really have an upbringing.
Yeah.
He didn't have any, but the fact that even before his head was messed with, like even before
Yeah.
like he was broken, he still thought that it was okay to use his imprimancy on another person in that way. That
Yeah.
yes, they'd both been tortured, and yes, they were both in it together before then. So
Yeah.
I don't fully understand, and we'll never understand why Yosef thought that the best way to deal with Eska was to put those thoughts in her head and then like be her and like
Yeah.
yeah, it was messed up.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
It makes me not like him, even though like I said, we constantly forgave him throughout the whole book for everything that he did.
Mm.
Um, that makes me think like with there's not really like a totally bad person in
Yeah.
like everyone's morally grey, like everyone fucks up in this book, but in these books, but it's
Mm.
just like yeah, I don't think I could forgive him for that when when you realise actually do we know that if any of the feelings were real, it kind of makes you think like
Mm.
I don't think any of her feelings were real. Everything would have been false. Like, we will never know, and it's
No.
like the constant question like
Mm.
we're never gonna get the answers to. It's horrible. I'm ready for the email section. I don't
Right.
know
Go
what to do up
through
there.
Emiko.
Yeah.
Go through Emiko because you'll forget.
Emiko,
Yeah.
the way that we met her, the way that she was like a thief, and then
Oh,
she
yeah.
ended
She
up,
steals.
and then she ended up being what Eska saw as a sister. I feel
Mm.
like being referred to as any kind of family member to Eska immediately sets you up for failure.
Yeah.
Like, do not become a sister,
Family.
brother-like person, child, family in any way. Do not become a family member to Eska because you will die or be traumatized in some way.
Yeah, but I feel like Emiko was already traumatized. Like, let's be real. Like, she was a thief on the streets, and then yeah, she went through hell. I mean, her arc is very interesting, and she ends up dying. Spoiler alert. Shocking. And she ends up dying, and there's a quite a touching moment in a book, one of the three, where she's kind of bearing her soul to Escara and saying, I did all these things for you, like I killed all these
Oh, that were
people, and
horrible.
you don't even know what I did, and I gave you all the
Yeah.
information about who killed Vi, and you went after them, and that's fine. But all these other people and all these other things I dealt with, and I've been living with it. And this person wasn't, not that Esker and Yosef and that were raised to be killers, but they fought in an army. They
Yeah.
had all these other things, like they were already like screwed from the start, to be honest, from the
Yeah.
age of 6. But Imiko had a hard life before she met Esker, but then she was never a soldier. She was never trained to be that sort of
No.
person,
She was
and
never a
she ends
fighter,
up
was she? Yeah.
no, and she ends up being that right-hand person for Eska, and it's constantly commented on throughout the books when we refer to Imiko, saying she's never there when you need her. Like, if there's
Yeah.
fighting that breaks out, she will not be there.
Disappears.
She
Yeah.
disappears. And it's, you kind of have to remember as well, like, I know Eska wasn't old in the first 2 book. The second book is when I think she meets um the second book I think is when she meets meets them. But at the same time, she's only, I don't even know how old she is in relation to Esker, because Esker was
Yeah.
what, 15, 16?
Yeah. But I
I think.
think it's easy to forget how young Eska was. And I think we said this about the first 2 books as well. It's easy
Mm,
to forget how young she was because her and Joseph had to grow up very, very quickly to deal with everything that they've had to go through. So,
mm,
like mentally and like life experience wise, like Joseph and Eska had been through so much before
mm,
Eska met Imiko,
yeah,
and like she was still kind of like this immature sort of character, and she
yeah,
was kind of just like a little sister, like whether or not, like,
mm,
however, even if she's only a couple of years younger than Eska, like she was still like a little sister, and she was seen as sort of,
yeah.
like I said, she was always drunk, she was sleeping around, she was just sort of,
But she was
um,
doing it because she was in pain, and this is
yeah,
the thing that Esker doesn't really understand.
yeah,
And Imiko might not have gone through the same stuff that Esker and Yosef did,
yeah,
but she goes through a lot as well.
yeah,
And it's never actually fully put on paper how much she goes through.
yeah,
Like, we never fully know. And I think that's almost worse in a way, because you don't know the extent of what she's done, and you don't know the extent of what she's put up with. But when Imiko is then there from book 2 up until Sins of the Mother, when she sacrifices herself, and she watches, Eska give away Kento. She watches her try and get Kento back. She watches as she has Cyrillith. She is there when they adopt Triss and Vi. She's there when Vi dies. Like, she's
yeah,
there for all of these things, and they have more effect on her because, as Eska says, Imiko is the aunt that these kids want and need, and
yeah.
she's the one that they go to.
She's
Not,
the one that picked up the pieces when Eska was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna fuck off."
yeah,
Like she abandoned her queendom that she created,
yeah,
and was just like, "Oh, the Imiko will just look after the kids," and like
mhm,
ended up being the standing queen until Cyrillus was old enough,
yeah,
and it was just, it's easy to, again, because you're in Eska's head and
yeah,
it's you see it from Eska's point of view. It's kind of like you do forget that. Yeah, so when she left, she sort of she left Hart,
mm,
who was always there for her, and she didn't treat him the best way. And she left Imiko to look after
yeah,
um Cyrillith and deal with whatever Triss was doing when he decided to go on his little fucking rampage and
mm,
blame everything on on Eska and like
mm,
the Corpse Queen and whatnot. It
yeah,
was, and the fact that when she has that breakdown and she's like, how do you deal with that? How do you cope with the fact that you've killed people and
mhm,
all this, like, and she actually breaks down and says that, you know, who do you think did this? Who do you think
Yeah.
you know, did all this for you, like why these people happen, what happened to these people. You
Yeah.
realise that actually those times that she disappeared, she was killing people for Esker. She
Yeah.
was
She was doing a lot
cleaning
more
up,
than.
yeah, she was cleaning up the messes and like helping her out so that Esker could progress and do what she needed to do.
Mm.
But she didn't, you know, shout and rave about it like, "Oh my god, I killed these people for you." But she did it because that was her way of supporting Esker.
Yeah.
But the fact that like we didn't find that, we had no inkling of that whatsoever
Mm.
until she comes back into it, and then it sort of hints that there's this darkness and Imiko's acting differently, and she's getting drunk a bit more than she used to do, and she's being a bit more like she cares less than what she used to do, and
Mm.
you know Esker's a bit wary about how she's acting and stuff, and the fact that when Esker loses a temper, Imiko's like, "Yeah, kill me."
Yeah.
That was horrible. That was then you realise that
She got
actually,
into a very bad place.
yeah, and you've been that wrapped up in your own shit, you've not even paid attention to the fact that your sister is
Yeah.
struggling.
Yeah. She
Like,
left. Like, that's the thing. And then not only did Esker abandon her queendom and her kids, she abandoned Imiko,
yeah,
and she didn't know where she'd gone. With
yeah,
no explanation, no nothing. And
and there
it's
was no apology for it either when she found her. She seemed pretty pissed off that Imiko had found her,
mm,
and like not realizing that, yeah, you abandoned everybody, and you're pissed off when she's found you.
mm,
Like, the
yeah,
nerve.
yeah, exactly.
It's like, what the fuck?
That's true.
I thought Esker and Sarakis' part where it was powering up the source with Veer so that she could explode herself in the beating heart. But I missed the cannot be killed aspect of the big bad. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that's why
I thought she was
they
doing that
put
as
her in a
well.
technical
Yeah.
jar.
So how do you guys pronounce Sarakis?
Sarakis, that's how it was in the audio.
Sarakis, yeah. I don't do audios, but you're still making this
Woof,
sound
woof.
like a fabulous book to read. Honestly, I really wish, even if it was just for that section of Ishtar being like, terrible student. I follow my master. Woof woof.
I've been
Like,
summoned.
it
Yeah,
was fucking brilliant. It was brilliant. And I think that that's what stops this book, these books, from being so draining to read. Like, because it's
yeah,
very easy to, when there's dark shit happening all the time, very little happiness. Characters like Ishtar and Tamara that will constantly just make you chuckle and bring a bit of,
mm,
even if Tamara is giving you some kind of prophecy about the world coming to an end, the way that he does it, the way that he does it is muddled little like
yeah,
riddle and that kind of stuff, and walking around laughing, going like the grass is green, like whatever he does, like that's the bit of levity that you need in a book
mm,
that's just constantly full of shit in it.
yeah,
Like, that's what keeps it from, that's what makes it easier to read as well. Because you know, there's a books like Lady of Darkness, for instance, from Cassie Clare,
mm,
like, that book is constant, like, 700 pages of, like, constant darkness and like,
really,
awful things happening. It was just
yeah,
constant, and there was no, like, it was such a slog to get through, and it'd be very easy for these books to become that,
yeah,
because you can't say that there's any sort of lengthy period of happiness
mm,
and settledness in, like, settlement in these books. So he's very crafty
yeah,
with not making them sort of comedy characters, because they're not, but like, I don't know what to call them. Like, they just bring light to the whole story, don't they?
yeah.
And the fact that at the end Tamara was still there, still being Tamara, and like
So
turned
that was
into,
cool.
ended up being a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, in what world is anyone gonna fucking understand his teachings?
Well, Yusuf becomes some sort of freaking deity, so anything can happen. Really.
um, I really like the callback to Along the River's Edge with Jost, the guy at the Watchtower who beats somebody
Yeah,
sentenced
I
to a
like
bit of
that.
breath. I actually remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she's
yeah,
like, "Oh, just." whatever your name is. Yeah, remember you.
I
God.
think the fact that things being on a razor's edge is mentioned quite a few times.
Mm.
Um, it just kind of keep bringing it back to like the name of the first book, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It does mention being on a razor's edge quite a few times.
yeah. He likes that one.
Why did Imiko sacrifice herself with the source rejection to further Cyril's plan? She'd have she'd have taken her own life just to get the pain.
That's the pain that we just discussed. All
Yeah,
like
all that. Yeah,
independent, you know,
yeah,
raising children and then having them leave you as well, and watching
yeah,
people die and then having to kill on behalf of people that you love. Like when you're not like even when you're trained for it, it's not exactly great, is it? But like when you've
yeah.
just stumbled into this life of
Exactly. She followed Eska, probably not realizing what
mm,
things were going to be like. And you could at the beginning,
mm,
Eska tried to keep Imiko away from the fighting. Like she sent her through the portal and sent her away
yeah,
so that she wasn't involved in the fighting because she was well aware that Imiko didn't want to do that.
yeah,
And then it just so happened that Imiko ended up killing somebody.
yeah,
And it just speaks to Eska's way of thinking that it didn't even clock in her brain when Imiko was being really quiet. That
yeah,
the reason that she was being so sullen was because she'd killed someone for the first time ever.
yeah,
And like she didn't know how to feel about it.
yeah,
And yes, she did it to save, she did it because she had to. It
mm,
wasn't something that, like, but the fact that Imiko had to say Escarath killed a person, and then Eska's like, "Oh right, yeah, that's why she's not feeling not like
yeah.
acting
But
like this."
by this
It was
point, Eska's
yeah,
killed many
it
times.
doesn't it doesn't. It's
Mm,
like she loves people, she loves her friends and stuff, but she is essentially a very selfish person.
yeah.
Like she is, and
I get
when
it
you
though, because
yeah
in all the situations that she's put in, not being funny, you're gonna look out for number one, and number one is always yourself. If you die, you die. Like that's the end of it. If you're a soldier, yes, you look after the people who've got your back, like Yosef, but at the same time, you can't look out for people if you yourself are in danger and or dead. So
yeah
I think that the selfishness, while is very strong in her as a character, it's also out of self-preservation because of all the other stuff that she's had to deal with. And
yeah
I think we forget that as well because, like, almost like it's almost like Rob makes you forget it on purpose. Like,
yeah
you forget how old she is.
yeah
Like, you get to Sins of the Mother, or I don't remember if that's the right book, and she's had the chronomancy severely impact her. So she's essentially a little old woman, but she's
yeah
not 70. She's nowhere near
yeah
70,
yeah
and her body's just like really old. And then she gets turned back in time in this one, and her body is then put back to being like, I don't know, 30, 40 years old, which is closer to the age that she actually is.
yeah
And there were a couple of times where I had to go, oh yeah, I have to remember, like she was only like 15 at the start of these books, and these books haven't really been progressing all that much, you know, at the point where Kento, let's say Kento's about 20, that's 20 years on. That makes her 35,
yeah
being in like an elderly woman's body and then back down to 40.
yeah. The amount
Like,
of stuff they go through, like I said, I think Rob. It feels like Rob does it on purpose, but it's just like everything that these go through. You think, well, yeah, she'll be a 50, 60-year-old woman, and actually, she's not.
yeah.
Like she's been through all of this shit. Everything we read about
Hmm.
has been like it started before she even turned 15. So
Yeah.
she's been going through trauma her whole life, and
Mm.
we don't even see the 20 years. We meet her 20 years later, don't we? Where she
Yeah.
talks about things that have happened
Yeah.
within those 20 years. And you're thinking like, actually, yes, so she was still only 15, 16 when she was in the pit. So she will only be like 30, 35 at this point.
Hmm.
And it's like having to go through all that by the age of 35.
Yeah, you've given birth to two children, adopted two more, and now you've only got your biological children left.
Yeah.
And
But
one of them doesn't even acknowledge you as their mother. Like,
yeah. It's we'll come to Cyril in a minute because I've got a lot to say about that one. I've been pronouncing Saracus in my head totally incorrectly all this time for all 5 books. I need to know how you've been saying Saracus then. Is it Sericus? Have you saying Sericus? Sericus, sir. To be fair, if I hadn't have heard that in the book, I would have pronounced it Sericus. Saracus. Saracus? Saracus?
no, I think it's still Saracus.
It's where you put the inflection though, isn't it? Saracus. I probably would have said Saracus.
Yeah.
Ref Imiko, you did discuss the pain of Imiko. Clearly you guys got it and it wafted straight off my head. Clearly I'm more fit with Esker than Imiko. Fair news.
Fair
But I can't get in trouble. You won't get in trouble, don't be daft.
I mean, we're not mad, we're just disappointed.
I like the italicized Saracus segment that tells its side of the story. That bit was so like welcomed, because
that was hard for me personally because obviously listening to the audiobook, I wasn't reading it, so I took me a minute to realize where we were at and what we were doing.
Because it's still all in Maura Quirk's narration style. And she doesn't do the hissy thing.
Yeah,
when she was saying it from his perspective, it did take me a while to get what that it was from her perspective. Because when it was from Yosef's perspective, it says this was an extract from Yosef. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It tells you that was Yosef, and whereas it didn't tell you that it was Saracus. But I did like getting to see that the side of Saracus, and the fact that when we first meet Saracus, it's seen as this dark horror that sort of invaded her body because rather than kill her, like she's taken this horror into her body, and then it slowly, it doesn't become human, but it starts to understand human emotion. It never gives up the lust for fear, like the need to eat people's fear, obviously. But it kind of I don't know what to call it now, but it becomes more attuned to like and understands people's feelings. It starts to feel things for Esker as a being, like, and I think it's so cute, and it made me a bit sad because when it mentions that he sort of when she realizes that the horror's been inside her this whole time, so Saracus has lived through everything she has and has seen everything and sort of sees Hart and everyone as their friends as well. As Saracus' friends as well, and that like, but they don't know who he is. And then when he comes back and he actually has a shadow, and he goes over to Hart like, oh, he's like the best friends, and Hart's just like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, oh, it's Saracus, he's fine.
It's fine. He won't kill you. He might think
I was just, I don't know why. I don't know how Rob made me do it, but it made me feel for a horror. Like, oh, he just wants to be your friends, and he's like your heart, and you've been around him for like the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was so cute. I don't think that's what Rob was going for, but I was just like, oh, so
that's what he's going for. He's asking.
Oh. I was checking the clues about her age throughout. I found the age thing really interesting. Spread across all 5 books, but I hadn't realised she'd absorbed the chronomancer and was aged because of that.
Yeah.
Saracus. Yeah. Was Irene just had the text formatting to tell us it was talking for it. Yeah.
No.
But when we come to Cyrillus, now we knew from the very beginning that
it was weird.
that Esker referred to her as a monster.
Yeah.
Now, I expected that when she referred to her daughter as a monster, that she really would be this awful human being, and I didn't think they would have a relationship because the way that it was sort of like, because to be fair though, when you think about it, Esker's also a monster, so it kind of would make sense that they would get along, kind of.
Yeah, but
But
I feel
there's
as though Cyrillith, whatever her name is, especially in the last book, is shown to have more remorse over what she's done. Like when they're in that first summit and everyone's like, "You brought a moon down, and you did this, and you did that," and then at the end of the book where they put her again in another jury and put her up for trial, and she goes, "Yeah, I did do that. Yep, yeah, I did."
yeah,
But
I think
like, she's not awful about it. It's just
no,
I did it
it's
for
very
this.
matter of fact, isn't she? She's very
Yeah,
it.
black and white.
Yeah, it gives me like I don't know. Again, she's also somebody who has consistently been through trauma, and
Mm,
until it was mentioned, it's easy to sort of overlook the fact that when Eska was pregnant, Sarkis was also inside her.
yeah.
So her
And
Sarkis
Sarkis
also
showed
yeah.
baby Siri stuff that he
Oh,
shouldn't have, because she was like, "You
right.
cannot show me that," and he's like, "But you need to know about my world too." So to him, he doesn't understand that he's
No.
barring an unborn child and
With traumatic.
with traumatic things. To him, he's just there going, "But this is information that you need because you are also of my world now. Like your mother is
Yeah.
attached
You
to me,
don't
and
you
I
don't
attach
think
to
of that, though,
her."
do you? So, like, she would have parts of him in her
Yeah,
because he was inside Eska
yeah,
when you didn't see that's not something you think about, and the fact that that Rob made that part of the plot was just genius in my eyes.
but it
But
makes
the
me
fact
think of, did he do the same thing to Kento? Because he was also there when she was pregnant with Kento. It's just never spoken
yeah,
about.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that is never spoken about. But when we first meet Cyrillus, I in my mind, like, because from the very beginning, like I said, like, Eska refers to her as a monster.
Mm,
I was expecting some kind of really horrible child, and it does sort of lead you to a false sense of security with that, doesn't it? So, like,
mm,
with we get these glimpses, and obviously it's done on purpose, that we get these glimpses of how she's an awkward child, how she doesn't really get involved with the things with her siblings.
like a
She
robot.
very much watches them getting, and how she hid the fact that she was trying to. That was a really sad moment when she was found in with all the saucers, and
Yeah,
she'd been testing herself, and the fact that Eska tortured again, Eska, because that's the only way she knew how to test for saucers
yeah,
and what you were attuned to, she tortured her own kids
mm,
because that's the only way that you could test whether you were attuned to different saucers. So
yeah,
again, like I say that she doesn't have any motherly instinct. She does, but she has a weird way of being a mother basically because she has no
yeah.
role model to work off, does she?
No.
Really? Um, and she even said herself, like, comforting people has never been something that
Mm,
she knows how to do. She knows how to direct people and strike fear into people, but hugging
yeah,
people and comforting it was never something. And because Cyrillus was the kind of kid that didn't really want that.
mm,
Obviously, Vi was, but then Vi died. Trish
yeah,
was always the one that was like, aggressive, standoffish, and
yeah,
boisterous. So there
mm,
was never really that sort of like warm and fuzzy connection there. And then Cyrillus didn't want whenever she did try and get close to her. Cyrillus was the one that always pushed her away.
yeah,
So you could understand how there was none of that, and she
mm,
didn't really think of how her absence would have impacted Cyrillus.
yeah,
Um, but I thought that she was really interesting as a character. The
mm,
fact that, like, I don't it's never really said that she has any kind of, you
no,
know, neurodiversity, but it kind of
feels
and I
that way.
don't know if yeah, it kind of feels that way. She's very matter of fact.
Yes,
She's like, "Well, if even though it could cause so many if she plots out in her head and it makes sense because in order for
yeah,
this will work because 'cause I've experimented, but I've
yeah,
only experimented because I needed to in order for the do you know, she's very matter of fact with it. She's not
yeah,
heartless about it, like you said, like, she shows remorse for what she's done, and, like, when she realizes that the people that were supposed to escape didn't escape and they all ended up dying, she was
Yeah.
traumatized by that, weren't she?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was just
They were meant to have gone. They weren't
yeah,
meant to be there, and she breaks down about it.
yeah. So you could tell that she does have feelings, but
Mm.
in her mind, like because she's very much into puzzles, she's like, but I she feels like she has to take it upon herself to be the person that fixes things.
Yeah.
And she's very much like she's a very interesting character. And
Yeah.
I don't think she wants to be the monster that she ends up being.
Mm.
It was just because of the way that she is. She's very you know,
Yeah.
thousands of
That's
people have to
why.
die to save the millions. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like she's very much
How do you save the world? Like, how do you calculate that?
yeah,
You can't really, but she
yeah.
tried.
She did try, bless her.
Mm.
And again, until the very last moment, we are led to believe that she is causing these scars
Mm.
in between the realms or the worlds, and the fact that everyone was calling them worlds, and she's like, "No, realms, mother." Like,
Yeah.
she was it's like she's
Yeah.
very everything is particular, isn't it? It's
Mm.
very much like, and she has to explain everything, and but the fact that up until the very last minute, we're thinking that she's actually going to destroy the world, and she's purposefully out to destroy the world,
Yeah.
and where she had to pick between Kento and Cyrillith,
Mm.
and she picked Cyrillith, and you're thinking, "Oh, fucking hell, this is gonna go downhill," and then you
Yeah.
realise in Cyrillith's eyes, she's trying to save the world.
Yeah.
Like that bit was just, it was again bittersweet because you know that she's done things wrong, but she's in her mind, she's done it for the greater good,
The greater good.
the greater good.
Only get
Um,
yes.
and I don't know, she's a very complex character, Cyrillith,
Mm.
but I really did like her, and they did kind of bond in their own way, didn't they? By the end,
Yeah.
like they still were, warm and fuzzy cozy, but it was
No, but Eska
Eska
did
was
go
there
into
for her in the way that,
exile with her.
yeah, Eska
Um.
was there for her and did, even though Cyril was like, "Oh, you always make it about you," um, she she did she did that to sort of save her daughter, didn't she?
Mm.
Because she was very stubborn in the fact that, and they were both the same in that way, like that everything they took everything on as their own fault.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, yeah, everyone made mistakes, but other people do have free will. So
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know, although some of the things, quite a lot of the things, Eska, were your fault.
Yeah.
Um, you need to, and Hart was right when he was like, "You're constantly making excuses for her. And you're mollycoddling her basically,
Yeah.
and not letting her take responsibility for her own actions and."
Mm.
For what she's done, she needs to take responsibility for
Yeah.
what she's done. But I did like the fact that in the end, even though she'd abandoned her and tortured her as a child, she exiled herself. She exiled herself with her daughter, and they lived
Yeah.
in the underworld, the other world, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um, and they lived there together, which was bittersweet, but
Mm.
it, it was kind of half her world anyway, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
Serapis was half of her.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It
How did
was
you
like,
feel the first time Serapis and her were separated?
I don't know. Like, I was just like, this can't be the end because
Yeah.
obviously there was like what 2, 3 more books, but it was almost like, right, okay, so now does she have to figure out how to do everything by herself, or because Saracas does a lot, especially in that
Yeah.
last book when she's fighting,
That was
and he's literally
yeah.
holding her leg together so that she can walk.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she, who else
I
did
found
she
that
randomly talk to out loud other than
exactly
him? Just every now and again, she's like, "Shut up," and people are like, "I haven't said anything. I'm not talking to you." Well, who the fuck are you talking to? It's this thing in my head, like it's
when she the thing is, like, although she didn't name it out loud and say, "I'm carrying a horror and he's called Saracus," everybody knew that there was something going on with her because she was constantly talking to herself. So she didn't keep it
Wackadoodle.
that much of a secret. It wasn't that much of a secret. The only
No.
secret was the fact that people didn't know it was a horror from the other world and
Yeah.
didn't know his name, but they knew
Yeah.
there was something there because she constantly fucking talked to herself out loud. Like, and,
So do I though, and I don't have a horror in me. I just am the horror.
well, we don't know that, do we? We don't. We don't know. You might be keeping it a secret.
It's a secret. It's a secret for me too, because I'm nothing.
I found many of the characters to be complex and unique and don't need constant battle scenes in my books. Yeah,
Yeah.
preferring characters which made this series particularly survivable. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Rob does a really good job of just giving us the complex characters and the intrigue of what's going on, and like lots of politicking and
Yeah.
betrayals,
But
and
not in a way that's as chunky as like books like the Legacy series
yeah,
or the Rune of Kings. Like,
yeah,
feel as though as I don't shut up about the Legacy series. Like, I freaking love that trilogy, as we all know, because I don't shut up about it. But I don't feel as though it's an approachable series for everybody because there
yeah,
is so many intricacies. If you're not bothered on that, you're not going to enjoy the books. Like, I'm sorry, you're not.
yeah,
But I feel like with Rob's books, because they're a lot shorter, obviously
yeah,
the legacies are like what, 500-600 pages each, maybe
yeah,
7. I don't know. Depends on your edition. Whereas these ones are like 400 and a bit, maybe
yeah,
at a push, and they're like split up into really good chunks.
yeah,
And there's politics, but there's not too much politics, and there's battles, but there's not too much battles, and you know, like all of that stuff,
yeah,
it's so much more approachable for a wider range of people, I feel like,
yeah.
because there
I
you've
agree.
got the characters that you hate. You have a bit of spice, but it's not really spice, is it? Like, it's
Yeah,
not smut in the same way, but there is a romantic subplot running throughout the books when Eska talks about people that she's in love with.
being with
Not
yeah,
whatever the section of that book is, and I feel like it's got a bit more of everything in it.
yeah. And it make like I said, it makes it very accessible for people,
Yeah,
and there's enough complexity that it keeps you interested, but it's not overwhelming for people that are not really into high fantasy.
yeah,
But you do have to appreciate that um it is grim, it is dark, it is
yeah.
so if
There's a lot
that's
of
if that's not for you, then maybe don't read the series. But if you because everyone goes through a fucking hell of a lot of trauma. Um, but I
I
feel
also
like
like that it's not all on the page.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, it's not like, oh, well, here's all this trauma, and we're going to go through it step by step, and you can also experience it. Like,
yeah,
it's
and
so much
it doesn't
more.
go in detail about like obviously
Mhm.
there's he doesn't mention, like when someone gets their fingernails pulled out and things like that. He mentions the act, but it doesn't go into gruesome detail about every
Like, no,
little bit of
probably.
trauma. But it's just well balanced, I think.
Yeah,
Is that you get
it's
he describes it enough that you get the understanding of what's going on, but
yeah,
it doesn't go into depth where it makes one to throw up.
yeah,
Although thinking of other people throwing up massive saucers does make me want to throw up, but
yeah, I know,
that's
but yeah,
just the nature of
but
the
even
magic.
that's not like that graphic, is it? It's like, oh, I
No,
searched my spice weed pouch and I ingested it so I could throw up, or
yeah,
I did this so that I could be sick. Like, it's not,
yeah,
oh, I felt as it like slid up my
yeah, yeah,
esophagus. There's like a
yeah,
little bit of that in this last one when she's talking about one of the sources, which is spiky, and she says she feels
yeah,
it stabbing her as it comes up or something. But it's not like, oh, I felt it tearing up my esophagus and
yeah,
I've not been able to swallow soup for weeks. You know, like, it's not massive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was glad Soraka's got to go home, which she had wanted to from the very beginning. Yeah, I
You said
agree.
you were gonna take me home. Why aren't I going home? I
Like
want to go home.
at times, it felt like Sarakis was a petulant little child. It was
Yeah.
like, "But you promised I could go home.
I just
You
want to go
said."
home.
But
Why am I
Eska
not home yet?
again, Eska was like very selfish in and she did manipulate Saraka's quite a bit as well. Even though
Yeah.
he, whatever you want to call it,
Mm.
wasn't. he just wanted to feed on fear and go home.
Yeah.
Like he was very
Well,
it was very
basically me at any social situation. I want to find the food. I want to eat the food. I want to leave.
yeah. So it's like he was taken
Mm,
from his world
mm,
by the Iron Legion
mm.
and
Put a bottle.
basically forced into captivity, and she freed him. But like,
Yeah.
and finding out the Iron Legion tortured them as children and actually turned them into Rand and Yin,
Yeah.
um, was was infinitely worse than what I thought he already did to them. Like
Mm,
torturing them was one thing, making out that he was like a father figure to him was
mm.
just horrible, and then finding out that actually no, he was the one
Yeah.
that like turned them into these other beings that actually absorbed part of the sources that they.
Yeah.
Oh, that was horrible. But yeah, Saraka's wanted to just go home, and the way that Eska continuously put it off, like for her own gains, I was just
Mm,
like, I felt like saying, I felt at one point he might just like force her into doing it. I don't know, but
yeah.
eventually when she sort of gave up her life for it,
Mm,
and it did it. It was like, no, come with me. I don't want you to die. That was horrible. I was like,
yeah. Yeah.
oh,
I do not want to be separated from you, Eska.
yeah. Yeah, and it ended up having feelings. I was just like, "Oh, that's so cute." Eska was a bad old woman as the mother. Like she'd been powered down from all the good stuff, like in a video game when all the abilities are taken away
You
at the
have
beginning.
done
Then you
things
level up.
badly. I am taking away your powers
Yeah,
so you learn how to behave. Essentially
a
what this is.
DNF
I
on
know,
you.
I'm ignoring this
Oh,
this comment. I'm ignoring it.
tough day. I didn't
Pointed.
like in my books. I just could not care less. Not interested. Skip to the end and Rumpy Pumpy and the Warrior Tunnel was perfectly pitched for me. Yeah, and I did like the fact that like even though Silver wasn't like a massive part of the book, like
Mm,
she was very much Eska's first love,
yeah.
and very in a very realistic way, she never forgot her. She
Mm,
still loved her years later. She still regretted what happened, and she still. I liked the fact that it still
yeah.
referenced Silver, and that she was still like even at the end, she was like, "I wish you were here, and I wish."
Mm,
I wish we could be together and I still love you and stuff. And that was sad to see, but also, again, like I said, very realistic because she was so in love with Silver despite her flaws.
yeah.
Um, and it was just, again, just the way that things happen and things have consequences, and those consequences are not forgotten. Even books, books
Yeah.
and years later, it's not just swept under the rug and moved on from. It's like she was saying that you always lose a little bit yourself whenever you do fall in love, but you
Mm,
always carry your first love with you because they hold the biggest part of your heart, sort of thing.
yeah.
Um, that whole thing that was so sad.
Mm,
And the fact that she died at Eska's hands was even worse. Like,
yeah. Not ideal.
uh, Eska picked the double spike sauce from the vault.
She did, yes.
Ew. Me on social occasions, 1 month out, oh that sounds fine. It's ages away, 1 week out, oh dear, I don't want to go. 1 day out, I don't want to do this terrible thing. Yeah, yeah, definitely me.
Yeah.
It's alright, you're in your own house, it's fine.
But sometimes that's worse because they're like, if you're like me, they come into my house and I'm like, right, okay, so are you judging me because I've got like, oh, wrong way. I've got Dave. Which way am I pointing? Dave. He's just casually sitting there, my Clefairy, and then I've got a whole other heap of like stuffy things, toys. This way. Oh God.
Did you say Dave, your Clefairy?
Yeah, he's called Dave. Yeah, I didn't name him.
You don't name Clefairy Dave.
My friend did. He called him Dave, and then it stuck, and now he is Dave. And every time I see a Clefairy, it's Dave.
You name it a fairy name, like something cute and sweet,
It's
not
just a
Dave.
Clefairy, isn't it? It's like Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is Jigglypuff. Pikachu is Pikachu.
Yeah, but if you're gonna name them and give them actual like human names, you don't think Dave for a Clefairy.
But doesn't he look like a Dave?
No.
His little face. His little Dave.
Oh,
That's
that's
Dave.
that's really bad. But when Saraka's first left Esker, obviously we knew that Esker wasn't gonna die. Heart brought
Mm,
back to life. It was gonna happen, obviously. But it did kind of there was something missing.
mm,
Like it didn't diminish like the enjoyment of the book, but it did sort of feel like until he came back into her life that there was something missing.
yeah.
Because we got used to him being around, and he did sort of she did sort of reference the fact that like she
Yeah.
did feel that he was there was power missing. So I am glad that he came back, and but the fact that Cyrilla thought that she could take Sarkis into herself
Yeah.
was just that to me was like such a childish thing.
Mm,
Like it's like she wanted to take the power, not take the power away from him because her mum didn't have it anymore. But it's like I don't know. It was her way of being the most important person. Do you know what I mean? Like
mm,
it was her
yeah.
way of she was annoyed that her mum got Saraka's back because and she was saying that she thought something was missing from
Yeah.
her, which
Yeah.
she could kind of understand which again, Eska didn't even know that Saracus had been feeding her all these memories and stuff
Mm,
from the other
yeah.
world. You could kind of understand why she was a bit strange and why she felt like there was something missing her whole life.
Yeah.
Um, but the fact I just loved it when Saracus was back, and he was actually bothered by the fact that Cyrillus was like annoyed at him. She was like,
Yeah.
"Why won't our child speak to me?
Yeah. I mean, they acknowledge me. Bloody no.
why is she being like this?"
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it was no, that was it was. I don't know. Saracus to me, it was he did not forget that he was a horror, but to me he was a character. Like he
Yeah.
was. It wasn't just a being that he was a character in himself. He had his own personality.
Yeah.
Um, and even though he did really care about or grow to care about the people in Eska's life that she cared about,
Yeah.
he was still very much um like needing people's fear, and he was
Yeah.
like, everyone needs to be scared of me.
Yeah. Why do they not fear me? Am I not? Just let me out. Let me show them how scary I am. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. It reminded me, like, even though it's supposed to be this ancient thing, it was
Mm.
kind of like a little kid stamping his feet. Like, let me out! I want to scare people.
Yeah, I
Like,
am terrifying. Really not. Like, you look like Dave.
can you imagine if he actually
This
pops
is
out looking
Caracas.
like?
Rawr.
Rah.
Rawr. Give me
Well, it's
my
the
pink
shadow.
cuddliness.
It was a shadow wings, wasn't it? Like
I
it
got a
was.
shadow winged dragon. Oh Jesus, I can't turn. Here, no, here. The little purple guy, he's a dragon. He's got shadow wings.
So that's
Rawr.
Arrakis.
Yeah.
Rar.
Rawr. Name's actually Pip, but yeah, rawr.
I want them to I want to create a little plushie of Saracus.
Rawr.
Yeah. I wanted to turn him into like a chibi character. This is Chibi Saracus.
Two Peter Rabbit. Rob would bloody love it.
I
Can
could
I
never. I might yeah, I'm gonna make a little black I'm gonna crochet a little black dragon type shadow thing and call it Saracus.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be like ghost shaped, but not ghost shaped. You know how some ghosts kind of look like semen almost with the like little tails. Like they're like
I
skinny.
think it needs to look like a ghost but black, and you need to put wings on him. But
Yeah.
turn him into a chibi by just making him look like having a smiley face, but then give him teeth. That's I'm gonna make it. It'll be a very new, unique plushie just for me. right, this is Arrakis. They'd be like, you're fucking crazy. No, I need to do that now. I'm
You
gonna
should.
do it. I'm gonna
You
make a ghost, make him in black, make him on a white smiling teeth. Like this is the horror from the other world.
Yeah.
That'd be ace. How did you feel about the ending? Were you happy with it?
Yes.
I was
Like
happy
it
too.
rounded it off in a nice way without being like too open or too closed.
Yeah. I was sad to see that Triss died.
It wasn't.
I kind of was because it was like not because I liked him as a character, but like it was just yet another loss that Eska was going to blame herself for, even
Yeah.
though Triss was very much into the whole fighting thing and wanted to be there and wanted to be like the hero and like whatever. He wanted all the glory of it. I still felt sad because she lost yet another person.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm in a way, I know I'm sad Imiko died, and I'm
Yeah.
sad Ryan Triss died,
Yeah.
but I'm glad they didn't do the resurrection thing.
Yeah.
And like oh, Imiko's dead. Oh no, she's not. Like she actually survived.
Actually no.
I'm glad he
no,
did
I
that
couldn't deal with the resurrection thing again in this book. In these books.
Yeah,
Couldn't.
I'm glad he did it with Kento and Cyrillith. Because that was just kind of like it made sense for them.
Yeah.
Because they had the ability to do that with the kinetic energy, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it made sense that they would be able to do that because they had the strength and the abilities to do that. So yeah, but I just I'm glad about that. And I'm glad that after all of it, Hart and Tamara was just in their own little
being happy.
Being happy. And Tamara I will never get over Tamara being a teacher.
Yeah.
Because I would love to be taught by Tamara. Nothing would make sense.
Yeah, but then how do you grade that? You don't. Like, you know,
I don't think he'd do. I don't think he would grade papers. He'd be like,
but how can you teach if you don't have a way to, I don't know, correlate what you've learned?
I don't know. He talks in riddles, so I genuinely don't know how he would be a teacher.
No,
Maybe he just I don't know. He likes telling people stories, doesn't he? He's like a storytelling teacher. I don't know.
he does like
But I like the idea of them living in their world and the fact that Kento still, even though she wouldn't call Eska mother,
yeah,
she still brought her daughter to see them and she still visited them, so that she still felt a connection with them after everything they'd been through.
yeah.
So that was kind of sweet. And yeah, the fact that she still got to see her friends that survived.
Yeah.
But the bitter part is that they both ended up exiled. But to be fair, that ruling your own world,
Yeah.
not really a bad thing, is it? It might have been like full of nightmares, and unfortunately, people might die if they enter your world without permission or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You're fine. That's fine.
She got her own back on the knobhead that like charmed her with impomancy.
Yeah.
That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely do think that this is a series that I would reread. I'm really, really glad that
I still want to reread Legacy.
I want to reread everything. I would obviously. I think maybe in a couple of years' time I'll come back and reread this. But the definite Rob J. Hayes has solidified himself as a top author for me because the 2 series I've read from him.
He is ace.
Yeah, he's so good, and it tops it off that he's such a nice person as well.
Yes.
Like he's an author that you want to support because he's such a nice guy.
Yeah,
he's talented, but he's also lovely. So he's like absolutely support away.
Yeah, I get
So
that.
anyone who's watching this back and is thinking, "Oh, I don't know what to do," read it. If you've watched this fine,
If you've watched this, you
you've
can't
spoiled everything for yourself. But still go read the books.
Yeah.
because
Always legacy.
us talking about these books is not the same as experiencing it, and we can't do the Ishtar voice properly. Terrible student.
Terrible student. Yeah.
Oh, I really just want Maury Quirk to talk to me in Ishtar's voice. That'd be fucking hilarious. Terrible student.
Woof woof.
I'm never gonna get over that. Every time, woof woof,
Woof woof.
just trotting away on a little mangled leg.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was good. Yes, I like the ending. I was surprised who survived, but I liked we wrapped up where everybody was at. Yeah, Esker is still going to Highlander
has
with
to.
her friends.
Well, she won't. Her and Yosef will live forever because he's a deity now, and she's keeping things
like,
hard. But yeah, I liked how it ended. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I'm glad that Yosef didn't come back, and he was like off doing his own thing.
Yeah,
because I would have wanted her to strangle him.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Because I don't care what they've been through together. In finding out that he was the cause of her like mental health issues, not all the mental health issues, but wanting to end her own life, was like that's not something you do to anybody you care about. So nah, he's a knobhead. But yeah, I'm glad that I grew to really love Cyrillith, so I'm glad that she survived and Kento. Plans for the remainder of the year.
Series.
We have one more series, and then we need to plan for next year. We are reading "We Are the Dead" by Mike Shackle next.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to because I have not read anything by this author before. But also, even just by the covers, I think this is going to be another. We have a theme, dark, grim series, and I don't know how much levity there's going to be. So I'm kind of like going into it thinking I'm probably going to enjoy it, but I might need to just have a cozy snack with me and some fluffy toys around me for like comfort. I feel like it's going to be a dark one.
Next homework. We haven't picked a date.
Next homework going to be due. It would help if my phone wasn't on 3%. We could 15th of October. Gives us 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 1, 2.
Yeah, I can do that.
Wednesday the 15th. We've changed from Tuesdays now. Wednesday the 15th.
We're now on Wednesdays.
We are now on Wednesdays, 15th of October, which is the day before my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I'm off work that week, so that works well. Yeah, so Wednesday the 15th of October, we will be discussing "We Are the Dead" by Mike Shackle, and fingers crossed, we will have the high that we have had with this series because we've had a couple of duds.
That is true, we have.
But Rob J. Hayes, as we expected, saved it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
pretty much.
100%. Roger that shit. I shall plan my reading to squeeze that in. Do it! I will be listening to it as always because that seems to be the only way that I get through books recently.
I'm going to try and read it physically because I own it upstairs.
I don't own it, but I still need to get the rest of Rob's books physically. I've got the first 2 for this series in hardback.
Yeah.
But this is definitely a series I want to own. But thank you very much, as always, to Tufty McTavish.
Yeah.
For joining us today, and anyone else who watches this back and has been spoiled for the whole series, you're welcome. But still read anything Rob J. Hayes because he is a non-problematic author and he also writes really, 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 really fucking amazing books. So yes, 150 XP to you. Round of applause to Tufty. Let's hope you make the next one as well. So get it in your diary, Tufty, and I'll definitely remember to read it by then. And I won't fall asleep after work and have to get corralled onto the line. And I won't fall. Yeah, I'll be here on time next time.
I'll be here on time.
Thanks for joining, guys. Adios, amigos. Love to ya. Love to ya.